But that was a nice, probably a nice 81, 82 degrees outside, so it wasn't too bad. That was closer to the fall, I think.
Yeah, and the yard had a bunch of trees back there too.
Yeah. So, I lost my fucking train of thought. I'm over here thinking about, I'm reliving the time in my mind when we had this case race, and I had somewhere I was going with this, but now I'm going nowhere. I think my CTE's starting to catch up to me.
Catch up to you. I remember just doing the case race, then going out to the bars afterwards too.
Yeah, I think after that I was pretty much done, but I think I might have had a few more drinks, but I think I was pretty much done.
I had like 8 more big beers at Quentin's thinking like, holy shit, I'm going to feel like crap tomorrow. I woke up the next day like $100.
Like $100?
Yeah, like $100.
Nice.
Not quite like $1 million.
No. Hey, $100. If you were to give somebody $100, they would be pretty happy with that. So,
yeah,
maybe not as happy as they'd be with $1 million, but they'd be happy with $100. I'd be happy with the fucking $100. So, when it comes to drinking, especially like drinking games, what do you guys have any drinking games you like the best? Because I've always enjoyed the case race, and I've also always enjoyed what is that? Presidents and Assholes. Did you ever play any of those games?
No,
I played a lot of quarters.
A lot of quarters? Quarters is fun.
That was, I'm old school.
My favorite's probably Boom Cup or Flip Cup.
Flip Cup's fun. What about, well, I mean, I guess you can't leave out the classic beer pong. That's a good one. That's a fun one.
I really never had fun doing that.
What?
No.
Why? What's to not have fun?
I found it boring.
Why? Because you're so good at it, like LeBron? What are you, like Larry Bird?
No, it's just boring because the pace is slow.
Well,
I'm really not a big fan of drinking games to begin with, other than the case race, because I just want to sit down and drink and get drunk.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Oh, shit.
I was a good drunk back in the 90s.
How is one a good drunk?
I could do it Monday through Friday.
Oh, those were the
I would
days.
take Sundays
and
off.
still be like functioning.
Yeah, and having to drive 60 miles every morning to work.
That's no fun.
Yeah, the wife was not very happy with me for at least 15 years.
Yeah, I've passed my prime of like drinking as much as I used to. Like, there was about like 3 years ago, I could go out drinking until 3 o'clock in the morning and then wake up and go to work at 6 a.m. and feel fine. But
by the way, Gage the Rage is only 22
like
years
over.
old, so he's
and he's past his prime already.
At 22 years old.
Wow,
I'm 26.
Wow.
Still pretty young. Yeah. No, I tell you, it's once upon a time I had a job. That's it. There you go. End of story. I worked for a skateboard shop with one of my good friends I had since kindergarten, and we worked in that shop together and partied together a lot for the summer after our freshman year in college. And so we would work on Friday night from about 4 to about 9:45 at night, and then we would go to our respective parents' homes, shower and change if we needed to, get a bite to eat, and then we'd always meet back up. And one of us would somehow miraculously have some beer with us, usually about a case, and we would drink about a case of beer at somebody's house and wake up the next morning. And this is back when I was really into my fitness, and I would go on 2-mile jogs every morning, and lo and behold, I'd set my alarm for about 8, because we had to be at work again at 9:30, set my alarm for 8, and I would always catch him. His final leg of his jog was about halfway through mine, so we'd always kind of intersect and start heading down the same street, even though he was probably about 100, 200 yards in front of me, and whatnot. So we were up that early after staying up till about 4 in the morning drinking. Boom, jog down there. And then be at work all day till about 4, and just do it all over again, and go back to work on Sunday. And it's funny because what I really miss now is not so much the free time, it's not so much the energy level, but it's the ability to recover. Because nowadays, I can give you one of those 3 things. I can either work, I can work out. Oh, I guess 4 things. I guess I can work, but I can either work out, do cardio, or drink. I really rarely can give you all three. So it's really a rarity if I can give you all three. Some days I can drink and do weights, but usually what happens is halfway through a step, somewhere during that night, my hamstring and my calf they wrap themselves around my body, and it looks like my leg is my leg is zigzagging like a Z, and I hit the ground, smacking and punching my leg, screaming for water, crying a little, and I can't do it just because I cramp up so bad. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I tell you right now, since we're on drinking, I had 4 beers last night, and I've had a headache all day. That's how bad my tolerances or my level of drinking has gone down. I can't hold a high level of liquor or beer in me anymore without paying the cost of a hangover for the rest of the day or whatnot. But got a big reunion coming up this first weekend in August, and we've been doing this since '95. Go up to Wisconsin, some Army buddies,
Mm-hmm.
and it used to be still is a 3-day weekend of lots of fun, but it used to be where we've got about 6 hours of sleep, and it was all we were drinking the rest of the time. Now it's a lot more sleep and a lot less beer. And some of those guys have not aged very well.
Mm.
I mean, good Lord. We're only,
That's
some of us, only 50 years old, and I think there's a few that look like they're 80.
We went out to the Ozarks for a bachelor party, and that was just like 3 days of straight drinking. And I probably drank about like close to like 60 beers.
Oh man.
And I just can't. There was a time where I could do that in a 3-day span, but that's just,
Shoo.
it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, that is
I didn't
brutal.
throw up, which is lucky, but I've
Oh.
always been like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when I come to like drinking for some reason. Like, either way, I'm going balls to the walls, but like some days I'll wake up and not have a hangover, then other days I'm just like wanting to kill myself
Ugh.
because my head hurts so bad. Like, I could have like 2 beers like you're saying and have a headache, but then the next day go out and drink like a 24 pack and
Yeah.
wake up ready to conquer the world.
Well, we had 2 of my buddies there up in Wisconsin. They were going bottle for bottle on. One was drinking Jim Beam, and the other one was drinking Jaeger.
Oh.
And they both made it through 3 bottles. When I left, I got there on a Friday, left on a Sunday afternoon, and said goodbye to them, and they could not make words. It was all mumble.
Insane.
I'm like, I like drinking, but going crazy on liquor like that, I was disgusted.
Yeah, you get to a point where you start feeling dirty. Like there's times where, and there's times where I've woken up. Now, I don't want to talk about drinking too much longer. We've spent a nice 20 minutes on it.
Because there's so much to talk about
Yeah,
drinking.
yeah, I know. But I'll tell you
We've got
this.
so many issues.
Yeah, I know. There's time. This is us working out our alcoholism on the air.
Yeah.
Here. So
It's like, you know what? I might be an alcoholic.
Yeah, well, we'll save that for another time. But I tell you, there's times where I have actually, I don't want to call it drink by myself, but you'll get on, you'll put on rent a movie on Roku or something and have a few drinks or something like that, and there's been times where I've gotten a little carried away, whether I was watching a movie on Roku or back when I was more of a gamer on my PlayStation. There are times where I would wake up in the morning feeling dirty or feeling like I need to apologize to somebody. And it was literally me all night by myself. I'm like, God, what the fuck did I do last night? I'm like
Check
waiting
your
to look at my phone and see if calling X is up or texting, hey, are you up? Sup? You up? Sup? What are you doing? You up? Or I'll look at Facebook to see what kind of gnarly shit I posted, ranting on my timeline or something, or Twitter. And by all indications, it shows that I didn't touch my phone after like midnight. So it's like, what did I do last night? I remember sitting here watching a movie and then I don't remember much, and then I remember playing a little bit of PlayStation, and then I don't remember much. Now I'm in my bed in a pair of pajamas I don't remember owning, but I feel so gross and grimy and dirty, and like I need to apologize to people, and that's where I leave it, and I just push it way down, and I don't ever talk about it, and that's that.
That was. I'll close on this. This happened last year. It was like a Sunday afternoon. I wanted to go watch the Royals game down at a bar. I told the old lady, like, hey, I'm going to be back. I'm just going to go down, maybe have like a beer or two, come back. Well, I get down there. I have about 2 Coors Lights, and it's like a 0-0 ball game. Well, then the Royals finally score, and they bring out this wheel. And they're like, I'm like, what's that for? And they're like, well, whenever the Royals score, we spin it. And whatever it lands on, that's like $1.50. And so it landed on Budweiser bottles for $1.50.
Nice.
Long story short, I ended up drinking about like $15 worth of Budweiser, getting flat-ass drunk on a Sunday afternoon, and coming back like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, drunk as hell.
Day drunk. Those were the worst because, especially on like a Saturday, because you still have the whole weekend left, and you have about another 6 hours before everybody else goes to sleep. And like that hasn't been drinking, that's a normal person, and so you're like trying to cope with the rest of your day and the rest of the weekend. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you who you're listening to real fast.
Welcome, friends,
to Megalodon and Friends. I like these guys.
They're assholes, but they're funny assholes.
Alright. I'll let that Stone Cold Steve Austin ending to that song play out. So, something's been going on this week. A lot of news has been happening here about this company, I think up in, what is it, Minnesota, Wisconsin or something like that, that's microchipping their employees. Now, I don't think they're holding them down and microchipping them like against their will. I think they sign up for it. But
Yeah, I think it's optional.
yeah, but I mean, would you guys do that shit? Would you sign up for something like that?
What is it
No.
for? Is it just tracking me, or is it just
my
a
assumption,
time clock?
Yeah, my assumption is that it gets you access into like maybe classified places in the building.
The
The
way I got it, like they put their hand up and it like unlocks it.
Yeah,
Unlocks
yeah.
the door or something, or like use it to clock in and clock out.
Well, and my thing is, my whole problem with this is, I feel like this is the beginning of something. Now, follow me. I'm going to take you guys down a trip here, down a road on a trip. Now, and by the way, we are live, so if you're listening on the Spreaker app, go ahead and you want to chime in on something, go ahead and hit that chat button, and we will in fact bring the show to a grinding, screeching halt to talk to you, because that's kind of our history, that's our pattern. So, but anyways, now my problem with this is, I feel like this is just the kind of the beginning of something. Because if anybody can recall out there, remember the Nokia brick, the phone? That was just an analog. It looked like the remote control on your fucking waterbed, and it was just an analog screen that was about the size of your thumbnail, a little bit bigger maybe, and it just had a little digital, showed the phone number and the numbers that you were dialing. No big deal, and the incoming call, and how many bars you had. Then we moved up into the flip phones. They weren't much better, but then the flip phones started being able to play ringtunes and ringtones and were able to games and like little apps that connected you directly to your service provider, not necessarily the internet. And then that stayed the same, but then you had the camera phone, and then then they came out with the BlackBerry smartphones, and now we're here where we're basically carrying, a computer in our hand. At this point in time, if you were wanting to stay fairly off the grid and utilize an analog like a flip phone, you're kind of, not only are you made fun of by everybody, but you're also legitimately utilizing out-of-date technology. Oops, I just smacked my mic. Out-of-date technology, right? And there are certain things you can and cannot do with a flip phone or with a Nokia brick or anything like that if they still provide you service. Some places won't even provide you service on some of those old phones. So what I'm saying is, at some point in time, if enough of these dumbasses start utilizing, thumbprints or start utilizing microchips, that might become the norm, and then everybody will have to have them.